Welcome to the video, guys. Today we are going over, again, what straight males think about sex. Given these weird questions on the internet, what do we think about it? Because I'm a straight male. I like women. I like vaginas. That qualifies me as a straight person. What qualifies me as a male? Who knows these days? I guess it's all about how I feel, and I feel like a man, so there you go. So this is a continuation of my Jubilee What Do Straight Men Think About Sex series. I guess it's a series now because my last one was too long for one video, so I'm stretching it out and milking it as much as I possibly can because that's what people on YouTube do. So I'm gonna do that as well. So let's just jump right into that first question. I'm going to answer some of these questions. I'm going to see what I have to say about some of the answers, what it means for your sexuality, and then kind of go over how we can improve our sex lives based on some factors in this video or whatever I come up with on the spot. So let's do it.
Do you care if a girl is fully shaved down there?
Do you care if a girl is fully shaved down there? For me, well, first of all, this question is a little bit ridiculous to ask men because it is complete subjective, purely what they like. It's not like we're going to gain any groundbreaking information about how all straight men think about sex. This is purely opinion. It's whatever you like down there. I think I would actually prefer hair rather than no hair. Maybe that makes me old-fashioned, but the shaved look to me looks a little bit young, maybe a little bit adolescent. And then if you're dating someone, it's a lot of maintenance down there, and you get the razor burn, you get the whiskers and whatnot, all that non-sexy stuff. So I think just a little bit of hair down there is easier for your partner, and that's what I like, so whatever. This is a dumb question anyway. Why am I even answering it? Anyway, let's see what these guys have to say, because it's going to be groundbreaking. We're going to figure out what sex is like for straight men, right? That's the goal of this video.
I don't really think it's like my place necessarily to be like, you know what, actually, can you change this for me? Like, I feel like that's kind of weird.
I'm a big fan of just vaginas in general. However they're packaged, I'm with it.
I do prefer cleanly shaved, but either way is fine. Yeah, as long as they're hygienic, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, what do we gain from that? We got three guys' opinions on vaginas, and straight men like vaginas, and the one good point I think was at the very end where he said we all like hygienic vaginas, and yes, I think that goes both ways, male and female. We like clean people. We like banging people that are clean. We don't like banging some sweaty, smelly. I don't even want to talk about it because I don't want to creep you guys out or turn you guys gay.
Do you care if your partner doesn't finish?
Do you care if your partner doesn't finish? You should care, okay? This is an extremely important thing. We don't want to have sex with selfish people that are only in it for themselves and for their own pleasure, and they just want to bang just so that they can get off and have their own climax, and then they're kind of like, all right, I'm done. Sex is over. Let's hit the showers, or whatever they would say. So, especially as a guy, because for men it is pretty easy to have an orgasm unless there are some underlying issues, porn addiction, erectile dysfunction, other mental issues or physiological issues at hand. And if you have any of those things, then you should sort them out. But for men, it is not necessarily a challenge to reach climax. And so I don't think it's fair necessarily for us to just reach climax every single time we have sex and then just kind of ignore women or not care if during the course of that sexual experience they don't reach orgasm. I think it should be at least a 1-to-1 ratio of climax to climax between partners, male and female. And for men, we can get it out of the way before we even penetrate. You can give them an orgasm during foreplay. that will turn them on incredibly. It will allow the sex, the penetrative sex, to be better because they're going to be more into it after they've already had an orgasm. So you can get it out of the way and then you don't have to worry about it. And then they could even have more during the course of the experience. That is the other thing. For men, it is not only easier for us to reach orgasm during a sexual experience, but for men, we can kind of only reach one. But women can have multiple orgasms during a sexual experience. They're not limited to one. They can go as long as they want, really. They can have as many orgasms as they want until they're just exhausted and they're just don't want sex anymore, which will happen if you just try to keep giving orgasms over and over again. But anyway, so why would it be fair for someone that can potentially reach multiple orgasms to reach 0 during that sexual experience? That makes no sense to me. It shouldn't make sense to you. You should care if your partner has an orgasm. If they are faking an orgasm, it's kind of on them because they're not giving you proper feedback in order for them to reach orgasm, or you're just not doing something right. You should be really concerned about giving your partner an orgasm, and you should express this to your partner. Talk to them about it. Tell them you want to give them at least as many orgasms as you have. You want an equal relationship, or an equal sexual relationship where there's give and take, there's generosity. Generosity is a huge factor in sex. You should be generous. You should be willing to go the extra mile for your partner. That's going to create better sexual experiences, a better relationship in general, a better sexual relationship. It's just going to be better all over. And yeah, so that should be everyone's answer.
Yes, everyone should care. Oh my goodness. This double standard frustrates me to no end.
I feel guilty if I don't.
When it comes to sex, a large portion of that pleasure comes from seeing the other person's pleasure.
If I am with them and I'm like dating them, like yes, sexually, like it's the first thing at my list. Like she has to finish. If it's like a little hookup, like to be honest with you, I don't care. Like I was more worried about myself. I'm not gonna lie, I am like selfish as soon as it comes to like hookups. When I'm dating you, like I'm making sure that's all I really like care about.
So, casual hookups. I mean, how many times do I have to say it? Casual sex is not good. It's not ever going to be as good as sex in a relationship. Case in point, this guy's like, I don't care about your orgasm during casual sex. I'm just focused on myself. And why wouldn't they? There is no incentive if you're never going to see this person again to care about anything sexually with them. Some people want to perform well because they just don't want to be embarrassed or anything like that, but that selfish mindset is extremely rampant in casual sex. And so if you want good sex, good quality sex, then obviously casual sex is not the way to go. And you shouldn't even be seeking these casual arrangements anyway, because this sex is going to be worse for you even if you're as selfish as you can possibly be, because there is no connection there. They don't know what you like. You're just going to be basically partner masturbating. And masturbation is not as good as real sex. And if you think it is, then you haven't had good real sex. You've probably had basically partner masturbation, casual, meaningless, worthless sex. So for all the women out there, if you want orgasms, if you want your guy to care about you during the sexual experience, don't do random hookups. Don't go around and have casual sex. Meet someone you care about that you can actually form a relationship with and get to know and talk about these things. They can then figure out exactly how to make you orgasm every single time in a matter of seconds. And then it's easy. And then you have great sex for a while.
When I was in my long-term serious relationship, I don't think she ever got an orgasm, at least from me. So later in the relationship, I was just trying so hard. I was reading up on a lot of stuff just to see like, what can I do to make this happen? And it just never happened. But it's a huge hit to the ego. I'm like, oh man, I wonder what that feels like, just because I've never experienced that, to be quite honest.
If your partner is not reaching orgasm, it is because of mental factors. It doesn't have to do with something you were doing physically. Trust me, you can get a woman off doing basically nothing physically if they are aroused enough, if they are horny enough, if they are turned on enough. So that was this guy's problem. There wasn't enough mental investment, psychological stimulation involved in that sexual experience. And yes, he highlights a thing. It is a huge ego boost. It feels amazing to be able to provide orgasms to your partners. So if it wasn't your goal already, then there you go. That's another benefit of giving your partner an orgasm and giving them some attention in sex and trying to help them find pleasure in the experience. We all should be doing that, but a lot of us aren't.
Have you ever questioned your sexuality?
Have you ever questioned your sexuality? I want to answer this with a resounding no. However, there was a time in my life where I was contemplating whether I was asexual or not. And I found out that this was a porn-induced sexual anxiety. And it was a porn-induced feeling or mindset that I had that sexual relationships seemed so disgusting to me because my porn use was so shameful and so defeating in my mind that I didn't want to have sex. I didn't want to be associated with anything that had to do with sex because porn to me at that point was sex. And this was such an unhealthy headspace to be in, obviously, because I was missing out on this thing. I was denying myself sexuality and thinking it's just how I am for some reason. And for some reason, I didn't pick up on the fact that, okay, I'm masturbating to sex on the computer, but I am asexual when it comes to sex in real life. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Well, no, it doesn't make sense at all. And so that is just how crazy porn can make you think and feel. Porn has such a monstrous effect on our psyche, on our mental health, on the way we perceive sex, especially if you're like me, who their first kind of sexual introduction was to porn, not real life sex. So I basically associated sex with porn and porn with sex, and they are not the same thing. Porn puts you in this voyeuristic perspective where you are an observer. You are not an active participant. But real life sex, you are an active participant, and it's a multi-sensory experience. It's not just viewing pixels on a screen. It is, you're active, you're actually behaving, you're doing things, you're feeling things. And so the two are just totally not the same. They're not equal, and they can jack up the way you think. It happened to me. In terms of have I questioned my sexuality in terms of like, am I gay or bisexual? No. So, yeah, I mean, doesn't mean I have anything against those people that are or feel that way. It's just, no. It's just the way I am, I guess.
Absolutely, 100%. For a long time, people were like, oh yeah, they would assume that I was gay, etc. And for a while, I just hated that assumption. But eventually I decided to take the time to feel like, hey, you know, maybe what if this is the case? And I think I did my due diligence in like trying to be honest with myself and recognize what was and was not interesting to me. And as such, I think I came to a definitive conclusion. I'm definitely team vagina, for sure.
I knew very early on that I liked women. I had my first girlfriend when I was in first grade. I had my first kiss with the girl when I was in third. Yeah, no, it's never something I questioned. Yeah.
I grew up in a Mexican household, so Latinos, they're very be manly and be this and be that, and you know, like anything that doesn't involve whatever a typical man is, whatever that means, they were just like, no, none of that.
I've kissed a man or two. I think that's maybe the extent of experimentation. Have I thought about it? Maybe once or twice. I lived in the Midwest for all my life, and everybody over there is pretty conservative. So growing up in that, I was just known to like women for the most part.
It was a passing thought. At one point I did think about it, especially after moving from home, but then I wouldn't feel that genuine connection with another man, so I wouldn't act on it.
Is this a normal thing? Am I crazy? Do straight men often question their sexuality? I haven't come across this in my line of work that much, unless it is someone that is truly bisexual or truly gay and they've been kind of pushing that down. And that's a rare number anyway. And I haven't really come across with that many straight men, at least that have, I guess they haven't opened up to me about it, that have seriously questioned any sexuality or experimented with same-sex relationships. And so that to me is a little bit shocking, and maybe people haven't been opening up to me fully, or maybe I haven't been asking the right questions. But anyway, that's a really interesting answer, because honestly for me it was either no sex or I was completely straight. It wasn't anything like, oh, I might be gay or I might be bi or anything like that. So I don't really know what to say about that, other than, yeah, if you need to figure these things out or feel confused in any way, then do your due diligence like he said and figure these things out. The better you know yourself, the better you can be yourself and express yourself fully, the happier you'll be, the better your sex will be, the better your life will be regardless of sex. So figure these things out, find out who you are, be that person all the time, be genuine to yourself, and you will be a happier, better, more fulfilled person. So anyway, I'm ending it here. So I think we learned a couple things. I think we went over some pretty helpful topics, and yeah, there is more to this video. It is a very long video, so part 3 coming out soon, so stay tuned for that one. And anyway, if you found this video informative, if you liked it, leave me a like. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. It helps me out. It helps me reach more people, and you'll get more videos by me, and that's pretty awesome as well. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And until next time, hope to see you in the next video. Bye, guys. And I came to find